everybody. This is Osiris, your show host of 15 Minutes The Show. And you know, we always like to do it live just for you out there. Thank goodness it is Oscar weekend once again, so I just want to get that out on the roll. So those of you that aren't in front of your TV, make sure you get there because we need your support, okay? It's gonna be cool. Might be a little different. There will be a virtual Oscar this year, which I will happen to be a part of for 15 Minutes to Show, so expect to see our names there along with Ankh Entertainment. Today we have the wonderful pleasure of bringing, this is like, I love this man. So any of you out there that have a crush on him, forget it, he's mine. But I've known him for so long, he's wonderful. He is the owner of the Lurie Gallery here in, Pacific Palisades. For those of you that don't know where the Palisades are, if you're not from California, I know we have a worldwide audience out there. It is gorgeous, and we're gonna talk a little bit about some of the artists that he represents, a little bit about the history of Mr. Bruce Lurie and the Lurie Gallery, and we will be right back. Hi everybody, we are back. It is your host Osiris again, along with my man Bruce Lurie of the Lurie Gallery, and as promised, we said we'd be right back and I talked to you about a little bit about where he came from. Now just to start it off, let me just set it off. Bruce has been like in the industry of art since the 80s. Their galleries started in East Village in New York. So you're talking about Michel Basquiat, Keith Haring, that whole era of those things, just a wealth of information. So, hey Bruce.
Hello. Nice
it is so good to see you.
Really good
I haven't
to see you.
seen you
Thank
in
you.
like
Thank
so
you.
long.
Yeah, we did an interview, what, like 5 years ago?
Wow, it's been a while back when and your gallery has grown.
Yes.
And because it's grown so much, you've changed location and it's just gorgeous. So
thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about what the type of art you look for, what you've been doing since the beginning, and how you've seen art change over time.
Especially with the COVID, the whole art world has been having a big change. I've always been someone who never goes with the crowd. I always I'm a leader. I don't follow any trends. I kind of almost set a trend. I mean, I'm not doing that purposely. I just go with my gut instincts. So I knew that with the COVID, you know, with the gallery situation in COVID, I was in Culver City for 9 years. That area is very, unfortunately, much homeless is happening in that immediate area where I was on La Cienega. And it seemed to be getting worse and worse. And I live in Pacific Palisades. And so I've always said, hey, you know, if I could find a nice space close to where I live, where I can maybe ride my bicycle or walk to work, I mean, that would certainly make it. Yeah, and then knowing that with COVID, if I was downsizing, which is what a lot of galleries are doing. And basically right now, we're doing probably 95% of our business is online.
Oh, wow. So it's come to that now.
Yeah,
everything is shifted on.
Yeah, we've changed. Yeah, we were doing art fairs for the last 20 years, you know, Art Basel, even the LA Art Show, San Francisco Art Market, the Hamptons in New York. And that all ended this past year. You know, it's going to pick up again, and we're talking to the LA Art Show that they're supposed to do another LA Art Show where they normally do it in January. They're going to do it at the end of July this year. So we've already signed up for that. Hopefully, if things continue to get better, that will be happening. But for the moment, we're doing most of our business is online. We do get people walking in, obviously, especially now.
What a beautiful view to walk into.
Thank you. And it's so nice to come to work now. But like I said, I'm doing most of my work is online. I have a very talented gallery assistant that helps me.
Oh, wow.
Well, she's my gallery manager.
She's your gallery manager.
Yeah.
But listen, always a woman behind the scene, don't forget that.
Absolutely.
Always
absolutely.
a woman. But anyway, listen, I noticed this amazing artist in your gallery, and one of them that I love. I believe his name is Jorge Gil.
Jaime Gil.
Jaime Gil.
Right.
Where is Jaime from? This is Jaime's work, and we'll be showing it more on the interview. We'll show some images of his work just for you guys out there that want to look at it. Okay, you guys, ladies, and otherwise. So there we go. Talk a little about us. Where did you meet, and how did you look, and how did he come to?
Well, I've known Jaime Gil ever since I had my gallery in Miami. I had a gallery in Miami for several years. We met in Miami. He was living in Miami at the time. He moved back to Mexico City, and unfortunately, because it was more difficult to get artwork shipped over from Mexico City. But since I moved to LA in the last year, he moved. He lived in San Diego and Mexico City. So I was able to get back in touch with him. Love his work. I've always.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean,
now his medium is mixed. I know that he uses some acrylic, some kind of fiberglass.
It's actually
what does he use?
encaustic. Encaustic is a kind of like wax. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which is really unusual, especially living in Mexico City. You can imagine.
I wonder where he would find. I mean, it's just tons of stuff sitting around. I'm sure, but how does he work his medium into something that's gorgeous?
Well, he would do acrylic, and then he would do stencils, and then he would apply.
What the other medium?
Either acrylic or encaustic. The one on the left it's almost completely encaustic.
This one with the
one with the
Can we walk over there?
Yeah. This is one behind me. This is my personal favorite. He uses encaustic in his medium. It's very rare that artists use encaustic on such a large scale.
This is beautiful. Can you explain to the audience again what the term
encaustic is wax.
Okay.
So
any particular kind of wax? Or?
I honestly don't even know, but I know it's wax. But what he does, he'll make it with acrylic, and he'll use stencils to get the letters. But the letters really have no specific meaning.
I love the text.
And he really wanted to make sure that it's not like he's into numerology. It's just very random in the way it comes out, but it's a beautiful, beautiful piece.
Oh, it's gorgeous. How big is the piece?
This is 6.5 by 4.5 feet.
Wow.
And same as this one. This one's mostly acrylic. But he mixes different mediums in all of his paintings.
But that same beautiful texture.
Yeah, I love the way these are.
Oh yeah.
They're raised.
Yeah, they're popped.
And this is with Latin. He has Latin letters and mixes it with some Arabic in here and Russian and Spanish. So.
I'm in. It's well traveled.
Yeah. It's a great
So
piece.
can we see some of the other two?
Sure.
This is the beautiful wand that I spoke of. That is the gallery director here at the Lurie Gallery.
Hi,
check her out. Woman on the move. Thank you.
So, these are predominantly encaustic as well. So I love them. I'll show you a few others. This artist who does these three, his name is Nick Vesey. Nick Vesey, these are, it's obviously they're x-rays, but what he does is he lays over many different layers, about this one I believe has 60 x-rays, and they're laid over, he doesn't
layered
in the computer.
Oh.
But it's
a digital ties.
Yeah. And these are small editions. This one's an edition of 10. And these got significant museum collections. And,
I can see why.
Yeah.
And then before our time is up, I just want to show you one more thing. Come with us. Love this person. Look at this.
Yeah.
Now this is art, people. If you notice, look how the texture is. It reminded me, I think we were talking about those old kaleidoscope things or whatever.
They were. The old word was.
We don't know. Okay, we remember, but we don't know. But I'll tell you what it is. It reminds me of those glasses that they used to use to look at the digital photos on the card.
Well, but this is called lenticular. So
this
is the
beautiful.
Most advanced. Anyway,
it's okay. We know. We'll look it up. Look it up on Google.
And,
okay, use your brain.
Jeff is in the permanent collection of the Getty, so he's quite.
It's gorgeous
successful.
and very artistic. I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't even look like she's nude. It's just like she's posing, and then if you look, you just happen to see, oh yeah, she's nude. But when I first looked at it, all I saw was shape.
Yes.
And image. You know, and
if you move
it looks
the
like
camera,
it's
you see
popping
it looks like
out.
it's popped out. Yeah. So this is shot with literally, I believe, like 60 cameras at one time. The shutter goes off, and and also it's spliced together in the computer. It's another technique similar to what that Nick Vessey's doing, and they're both British. Okay. So, and they know each other. They're friends.
Oh wow. Okay. Hey, so we were talking about Jaime Gill, and you were saying that you met him in Miami long ago. Now, was he developing as an artist, or was he doing a different kind of work then than what he's doing now, or did you follow his career and then pick him up when he was ready?
I have always loved his work. I'd seen him in a museum show that was in Miami. Wanted to represent him because his work is so unique, very sophisticated, and he's a great guy.
And a nice guy.
Really, some artists are
easy. He's easy.
Yeah, he's easy, and he's very professional. Yeah. Sometimes it's not as easy to get the artwork when you see pieces like artists have to be able to deliver. Mm-hmm. When you have clients waiting to see pieces.
You do, and so he's disciplined and focused on the professional. That's what you look for in terms of bringing an artist on and representing them. Now, there were a few other people. You said he was easy to deal with, so that's one of the things. And I wanted to know what kind of presentation goes into presenting an established gallery such as yourself. Now, there was one thing I think the audience should know. He's fine, okay? There are two more of them that are just as cute as he is. There are three more. It's four of you guys, right? Two of them are twins.
Identical
Get that?
twins.
Identical twins.
Yeah.
4 boys.
Yes, my poor mother. Yes.
I know your mother must bless her heart. I couldn't have done it. I would have had a shotgun every day following them to school. Okay, making sure nobody kidnaps them or anything like that. But talk a little bit about the history of the Lurie Gallery brothers together. Right. Well, as a unit, I think we want to hear a little bit about that.
Well, it's really interesting to have a whole family in the art business. We all were in other businesses, and we all fell back into the art business. My younger brother and I were both actors. My younger brother did a lot of stunt work, and I had another. We grew up in half our lives in Europe. So one brother lived in Germany for a long time. He was working with Mercedes, and another one was living in Switzerland in the watch business. But we all got back into the art world because we love art. We've been collecting artwork since we've been in college. All of us. We were exposed to art at a very young age, living in New York. And my first gallery was in the East Village in 1983, 84. And I was fortunate enough to have met Keith Haring and Basquiat and Warhol. And they were regulars at my gallery. And,
what did they do? I mean, when they came in, did they come in as artists or just kind of artist hangouts or both?
No, just usually...
Just coming to look around?
To support other artists, other friends. Wow. And I was fortunate enough to have a group show where I had a few Basquiat pieces. I was very lucky to have that.
Gosh.
I only wish I had hung on to
some of them.
I did hang on to one piece a little longer than... but I should have hung on to it a lot longer because there was a piece about the size of maybe this painting right here that we were selling those Basquiat paintings for about 3,000 to 5,000, and that size now would be 3 to 5 million.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that his work has come up, but it's timing. Timing in life is everything.
Well, now what I do is I always make it a point to hold on to at least one piece of artwork by every artist, even if we're not working with them anymore, because if I know initially something about them really captivated my attention, I'll just hang on to at least something.
Well, I would think too that your eye, the good eye you have for choosing, and your strong intuitive powers, that you can sense, who's might work out and who may be this or maybe they're here. And I also know that you work with emerging artists. I happened to go to one of Bruce's shows. It's been a while back now, but he had this cartoonist from Germany. She had a book. Remember the German girl with the blonde hair? And I met all of these amazing artists, but the show was for the artist. The name of the show was Cojones.
Oh, God.
So they had all
an artist named Knowledge.
Knowledge Bennett. Knowledge Bennett, and Knowledge Bennett was in it. He had these big blown up images that I had never seen. I'm like, of course I've got to go to the show. So every time I've gone to a gallery opening or something, or gallery opening for an artist that the Lurie Gallery has had, it's been like the most interesting, probably one of the most interesting experiences I've had since I've been here in LA.
I appreciate it.
So we're gonna do a little bit of a walkthrough. I'm gonna ask you one more question, like if I'm an artist out there and I'm like, oh wow, he sounds knowledgeable, he sounds like he really talked to me and tell me what the thing is. Do you advise artists as well? Especially because you're a progressive thinker. Mm-hmm. So do you advise them about, do you ever convince them or influence their direction, or do they come to you? What are some of the kinds of things?
I always say, go with your instinct, go with your gut. Don't, artists, the best artists are influenced by other artists, and take maybe a little bit from each artist that you really feel, but always try to do something different. Don't copy, or don't, try to come, even if it's a new medium, adding different materials onto a painting, try something different. But people do certain artwork commercially. I mean, they're a commercial artist and they make a living and they stick to it. And I say, hey, that's great. If you can make a living as an artist doing commercial art, fantastic. But if you're going to break into fine art, you have to be doing something that it's different and unusual. I mean, if you're going to get to that next level, you have to come up with something.
You gotta go on your gut, man. Yeah. You gotta go on your gut, and you gotta dig, and you gotta find the core of you, who you, the individual, are, without copying other artists. Right. Of course, we are influenced by other things all the time.
I mean, Picasso. I mean, the greatest, most well-known artist of the last 2 centuries. I mean, his artwork is greatly influenced by African art. I mean, that was what...
And not a lot of people knew that he was influenced. So was Claude Monet. I know he traveled to Japan. Right. He was also a veteran. Mm-hmm. If you look into his background, so a lot of them had traveled a lot. I know Van Gogh, another one of the artists. I don't know. I know he was influenced a lot by his childhood upbringing, his early environment. So if you're living somewhere and you're homeless, sometimes that's the next artist. Trust me when I say that to you.
Hey, well, Basquiat was homeless.
That's right, living in a box.
His parents were both doctors, and
that's
both doctors, and he wanted to be an artist. And they said, well, you're on your own, get out. And he didn't have any money. He would couch surf at friends' homes. He became very good friends with Keith Haring, and obviously with Andy Warhol, right? And so he lived in the East Village on a park bench, and on the east, I forget the name of the park, like Avenue B and Avenue C. And he was there.
They didn't have all the goodies we have now.
And he would draw on the cement. He would
get
pastel. Yeah, and people would gather around and like, wow, what is this?
And I will tell you that as an artist myself, and Bruce is an artist himself, and we all have our artistry. If the art in you and the creative being in you is there, you cannot sleep. You will be compelled. It has to come out. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll be crazy inside if you don't let it out some kind of way. So wherever you are, whatever your circumstances are, whatever they are, go out there and turn it into something good. Turn it into art. Make it good.
Another little story about the East Village.
Yeah, let's do it.
Keith Haring, I mean, before he became this, I mean, while he was still becoming famous, he would go to these construction sites and he would paint on all the boards. On construction sites, the people do that now, and you see a lot of people doing it now. But he was like one of the first people who did that.
That did that.
And if you went back into the East Village back in like the early '80s, you would see buildings were being under construction, and many times you think, wow, what a great piece of artwork, and it would be left there. Those particular pieces now are worth millions of dollars. And you know, if you knew what to grab. So like there are artists today that are doing it, and sometimes a lot around Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And every once in a while
you'll see somebody
something.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's where Banksy
And they'll
comes
leave
in.
they'll leave the little something that let you feel, you know, so you can follow their trail. But yeah, and there's a difference I also want to express, since she said that there's a big difference, you guys, in tagging and just doing anything without thought or whatever, and something really focused and somebody really trying to say something. There's something I want to say, and I want the world to hear it. I want you to see it and feel it. You know, I want you to feel it. So when an artist, no matter what, fine art, we're talking about fine art, but any kind of artistic expression, make something, but it's something you have to feel. You know, like Bruce Lee says, don't think, feel. And on that note, we'll be right back. So listen, we gotta go. You know, we'd like to do it live, but it is only 15 minutes, and although I'd love to stay and chat some more with my dear, wonderful friend Bruce Lurie, we've got to go. But meanwhile, Bruce, where can everybody reach you? Tell us about your art, where they can find your art, where we can reach you on IG and Facebook.
Our Instagram is Bruce Lurie Gallery. Bruce Lurie is my Facebook, and we are located 873 Via de la Paz in Pacific Palisades. So I hope people will come down and visit us, and we love this new space.
Come down and visit. It's beautiful, wonderful. You get some good vibes around here, and you get to see some very upscale art that you may not see out there. He's got some hot stuff. Meanwhile, don't forget about me, your girl, Osiris with 15 Minutes to Show. Also, Ankh Entertainment. One.net is my blog, and Express in Abstract.net is the website. So we will be seeing you soon. And let's get a hug together and go bye.